Hello students, welcome to Medicine 360. Today what I'm going to discuss is something that bothers me a lot. And the reason why it bothers me a lot is a lot of us always keep talking of reservation and how reservation is taking away some seats from you. But what happens when a rich person takes a certificate of being an EWS category student and takes away those seats? And that seems to be happening very regularly across all reservation categories, especially when it concerns EWS. It seems to be the biggest fraud that is being played out on the country. Look at this thing. We were looking at the NEET PG second round counselling data that came out. When we looked at that data, we were shocked. EWS candidate students are paying crores of rupees. Mind you, EWS is economically weaker section. They don't have money, they don't have wealth, they don't have property. But they somehow managed to pay even up to 4 crore rupees to take a seat which otherwise would have gone to a deserving candidate. And what did they do? They took the NRI seats. They also paid in dollars, mind you. And this is not a unique problem only for NEET PG. We've shown this about how this happens only in NEET UG also, and I'm sure it happens in every other program also. The issue is not just about how rich people are taking away the seats of poor kids. The issue is the same rich guys would have got the EWS certificate to get into your AIIMS also, to get into your public institutions also. And that is the real problem. The EWS candidate paying here to pay 4 crore rupees is a different problem altogether. These are people who could not get in despite the fact that they could claim an EWS certificate. But what happens to all those who get into good, great public institutions and take away the seat of a more deserving, genuinely economically weaker section candidate? And how is it that the government, all of us, are mute spectators to what the fraud that's being played up on the system? Let me show you through data of what exactly we could see in the NEET PG counselling round after the counselling round 2 happened. And before I show you actual data, please subscribe to Medicine 360 if you've not already done that. It's important for us to understand that you're following us, you're watching us, and we're able to help you decide for yourself. So please subscribe to Medicine 360 if you've not already done. EWS is a 10% reservation. The way you have reservation, you have 27% for OBC NCL, 7.5% for ST, 15% for ST for 7.5%, 15% for SC, and 10% for EWS. So this put together is 49.5%. And this 10%. Now this 10% essentially for you to claim that you should not be a part of any other reservation category. That's what essentially it is all about, because it prohibits a OBC, SC and ST candidate to claim reservation along with it in the EWS category also. So essentially these people are out of it, which essentially means that this reservation is for forward caste or upper caste only, in a sense. Right? Now when you look at that data, and what does EWS mean? The definition of EWS is this, that you should not have an income of anything more than 8 lakh rupees. So your income should be below 8 lakh rupees. You should not have an agricultural land of 5 acres or more, or a residential flat of 1000 square feet or more, or a residential plot of 100 square yards in big cities or 200 square yards in smaller cities. It says notified and non-notified. I'm trying to simplify the whole thing, which essentially means that you don't have income, nor property, nor wealth, nor land. That's what it essentially means. It also says must not belong to SC, ST or OBC NCL categories. Essentially what they do is the 10% EWS reservation is for those people who could not get into any other reservation category, in a sense, right? So this is the definition of what EWS category is all about. Now let's look at what has happened here. A student with a rank of 1,14,475. So he would be exactly about 50th percentile, mind you. By the way, one more thing I'll tell you. This second round counselling, after this second round counselling, there were so many seats left that they also reduced the merit that is required, or minimum standard that's required for you to get into any of these NEET PG seats. So you will see in the end of third round a lot more, nonsense that will happen. And I'm using the word nonsense very consciously, because I see how the quality of the minimum quality is being brought down so that they can fill in all the seats that have been created with a very high fee that could not be afforded by normal people. So only the 1-2% of India can actually afford that, and that's how they get into those seats, right? So a student with a 1,14,000 rank, who's an EWS category student originally, took the NRI seat in Bharati Vidyapeeth Medical College in Sangli and paid 4.2 crore rupees. The fee would be 4.2 crore rupees. It's actually in dollars, $1,50,000. right? So this becomes 4.2 crores because $1,50,000 is per annum. So $4,50,000, which is about 4.2 crore rupees. Another candidate with a rank of 61,170 took the NRI seat at MGM Medical College in Pondicherry in MD Radiodiagnosis the student would be paying 2.2 crore rupees over 3 years' time. And this excludes the hostel and all those kind of things, remember. If I add all those things, it will only shoot up. 2.5 crores and 5 crores is what it will shoot up to, right? Then another student got into another college at 1,15,231 rank, NRI student in this particular college, MD Pediatrics, 1.9 crore rupees, 1.8 crore, 1 crore 89 lakhs 90,000. Another student, 91,992, self-finance merit seat, D.Y. Patil Medical College, or MS Orthopaedics, 1.875 crores. Another one, self-finance merit seat, 69,251, Sri Siddhartha Medical College, Tumkur, 1 crore 80 lakhs, right? And it goes on and on and on. 84,000. So if you look at it now, I've only listed out 10 of the candidates so that you understand the kind of issue that you're dealing with. Here are students who said that they're economically weaker, which means they don't have income, they don't have assets, they don't have wealth, they don't have property, they don't have land. And they end up paying 4 crores, 2 crores, 1.5 crores, 2 crores and so on and so forth. That is a fraud in the system because these seats were meant to be given to genuinely economically weaker sections candidates. And I genuinely don't care how these guys got into this. My problem is a similar bunch of people would have actually got the EWS certificate and claimed a genuine seat in AIIMS and in public medical colleges paying lesser fees, though they are very, very rich. And that is my bigger problem. I don't care whether these guys pay 5 crores or 10 crore rupees, honestly. But my problem is slightly different, that these people we could notice because they got admission into a deemed medical college. We cannot notice people who got into a public institution, a public medical college, right? And that is my problem that I'm dealing with. And when we looked at data much further, and we also, for example, if I were to look at the rank, and this, by the way, is the top highest ranks where, you got in deemed universities, but all these were, EWS candidate students. Some of them got into NRI seats also, which essentially means that it will be very high fees, right? These NRI seats, these NRI seats, these NRI seats, right? So when you look at these numbers, you simply know that these people were never EWS. They were never economically weaker, but they got into it. And again, I keep repeating, my problem is not these guys paying higher money. My problem is some of these guys getting into public institutions by claiming a EWS certificate, though they're actually rich, though they're actually not economically weaker section. That's the problem that I have, right? Overall, when we looked at the numbers, we actually found 145 candidates after round 2. Round 3 is about to come. At that point in time, I can tell you that there'll be a lot more of this nonsense that will come out. We actually found 145 candidates who were into actually EWS candidates, but paid 1 crore or more to get into any of these deemed universities, of which one of them paid 4.2 crore rupees, 2 of them paid 2 crores and above, 1.5 crore and above, 14 people paid, 1 crore and above, 77 students paid, and overall, we actually have 145 students who actually got into a deemed university by paying the management quota fees, which is about 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crores, 3 crores, 4 crores kind of a thing. And that, I personally think, has to be stopped. How do we bring this out? I think we need to really put a foot down on this whole thing by ensuring that these students are questioned of how they actually could manage to get the EWS certificate. It's a simple data. If we can notice it, why can't the government notice it? Why can't NMC notice it? Why can't the colleges notice it? Why can't they stop these people from actually claiming anything if this is to be the case? Assuming you have to stop this, then at least they will stop doing the fraud on the system so that a seat in the public institution would not be taken away, because at least they'll not come through the category of EWS, because they know that assuming they don't get into public institutions, they can't claim these institutions, right? So we need to put a foot down on this whole thing. We need to stop this fraud that is happening in the system. We need to ensure that really poorer sections of the society are not, robbed of their rights, which genuinely belongs to them, just because these guys, the rich brats, if I will call them, actually take away their seat. I just hope the government wakes up, NMC wakes up, and we take this up very, very seriously, because this, for me, is a fraud on the system, a fraud on everything that we are doing to actually create some kind of a, facilities so that poorer sections of the people can actually study and grow further in their lives.